Welcome to this Crypto Visionary Network Explainer. Today, we're diving into Hive. Now, this isn't just, another crypto name thrown into the mix. It's a blockchain platform that really tries to champion decentralization and community power. We're going to unpack its story, its unique mechanics, and sort of explore what makes it such an interesting example of a decentralized digital community.
Yeah, it's a fascinating one. And just quickly before we jump in, our usual disclaimer applies. The info we're discussing today comes from various internet sources compiled with AI help, so errors or bits of misinformation can creep in. Definitely nothing here is financial advice. It's all purely for education. So always do your own research, use your common sense, you know the drill.
Absolutely. Always critical. Okay, so Hive. Let's try and picture this. Imagine a social media network. But instead of, say, Facebook or Twitter controlling everything, it's completely run by the people using it. Resilient, supposedly, against takeovers, censorship-resistant, built on digital freedom. That's the pitch, right?
Exactly. And what's really compelling is how it got here. It wasn't just designed in a vacuum. Hive was born from this really dramatic moment, a proper fight for decentralization. And that whole experience, it's kind of hardwired, its structure, its whole community attitude, really instructive if you're interested in Web3. Oh, and before we get tangled, it's probably good to clarify something.
What's that?
When we talk about Hive today, we mean the Hive blockchain, the decentralized social stuff, the ecosystem. It's easy to confuse it with HIV, digital technologies, totally separate company. They do Bitcoin mining, AI cloud stuff. So yeah, different Hive. Important distinction for understanding the vision we're digging into.
All right, good point. Blockchain, not the mining company.
Got it.
That really sets the stage. Because to get Hive, you have to understand its roots. Like you said, it's a story about a community basically drawing a line in the sand for decentralization. It came from a hard fork of the Steem blockchain back in March 2020. And this wasn't just some tech update, was it? It was defiant.
Oh, completely. It was principled defiance. You had the original Steem blockchain hosting things like Steemit, which was pretty popular. Then Justin Sun, founder of Tron, he acquired Steemit Inc., that was the company that built Steem, held a massive chunk of tokens, and things got controversial fast. He used a huge amount of Steem tokens, including, controversially, some held on exchanges to try and force changes. He wanted to reverse a soft fork the community had put in place specifically to limit his influence after the acquisition.
So basically using the platform's own tokens, or maybe tokens held in trust, to centralize control over it.
That's exactly how the community saw it, a direct assault on decentralization. People were understandably furious. Developers, creators, users, they felt it was betraying the whole point. So instead of just accepting it, they did something pretty radical. They decided, okay, we'll take the code and build our own chain, community governed.
And that became Hive.
That became Hive. It wasn't about attacking Steem, more like an exodus, a principled walkout. Existing Steem accounts got a 1.1 airdrop of the new HIV tokens. So people could bring their accounts, their followers, their reputation, their content, everything, over to the new chain. But, and this is crucial, that huge controlling stake held by Steemit Inc. It wasn't copied over.
So they started fresh, governance-wise, truly decentralized from day one.
Exactly, a clean slate. It really showed you can't just buy a community, you have to earn its trust. That whole event basically forged resilience right into Hive's core. Decentralization wasn't just a feature, it was their ultimate defense.
That's quite the origin story. Really frames everything. So with that kind of background, how does Hive actually work day to day? What's it used for beyond being this symbol?
Well, at its core, Hive is designed as this robust base layer for all sorts of Web3 stuff. Think decentralized infrastructure for blogging, social media, games, video, even some financial services. Its main job is providing this censorship-resistant, unchanging environment where you can create, share, curate content, and actually get rewarded directly for participating, which is, quite different from Web 2.0.
Yeah, totally different. Not the platform taking all the value from your data. So how does it work for me as a user?
Yeah.
If I want to post something or interact, and how do those rewards happen?
Okay, so Hive uses something called Delegated Proof of Stake, DPoS. Instead of everyone mining, token holders vote for witnesses. Think of them like delegates. These witnesses are the ones who validate transactions, produce the blocks, and the main benefit: speed and efficiency. It's designed to be really scalable, handle lots of transactions quickly, which you absolutely need for social media type apps.
Okay, DPoS. It sounds efficient, definitely. Yeah. But you sometimes hear criticisms, right? That power could maybe concentrate with a few big witnesses if they get all the votes. How does Hive, born from fighting centralization, deal with that specific risk?
That's a really fair question, especially given their history. And yeah, theoretically, DPoS has that potential centralization vector. But Hive's origin story is kind of its built-in defense mechanism. The community has proven multiple times they will coordinate and vote out witnesses who act against the network's interests or try to centralize things. Plus, the way HIV tokens were initially distributed mostly through creating and curating content, not big ICOs or pre-mines, helps spread out voting power more naturally over time. It really relies on an active, watchful community. And Hive's community, they're arguably one of the most vigilant out there because of what they went through.
Right, that makes sense. The history itself becomes a safeguard. Now, I've also heard this term, proof of brain. It sounds very... What is it? How does that fit in?
Haha, yeah, proof of brain. It's actually pretty central to Hive's whole creative economy. It basically flips the old content model. It's a protocol that uses human judgment, the community's judgment, to figure out the value of content. So you post something on a Hive app, like a blog post or a comment. It then enters a 7-day voting window. During that week, community upvotes engagement that determines its final score, its perceived value.
So it's like decentralized quality control.
Mm-hmm.
The users themselves collectively decide what's valuable.
Precisely, a kind of digital meritocracy. The idea is the good stuff rises to the top, judged by the collective brain of the users. After 7 days, new HIV tokens are created and distributed. Part goes to the creator of that high-scoring content, and part goes to the curators, the people who found it, upvoted it, commented, shared it. And the more Hive power you've staked, the more weight your vote carries in deciding those rewards. It strongly incentivizes finding and promoting good stuff. Your value comes from your peers, not some black box algorithm.
That sounds really appealing for creators. But practically speaking, what stops, say, groups of users forming upvote cartels, just scratching each other's backs? Or ensuring that smaller creators, maybe without many connections, don't just get ignored by those with lots of Hive power? Is that a risk?
It's a valid concern, yeah. Any voting system can potentially be gamed. Hive has a few things to mitigate it, though. First, just the sheer number of active users makes it hard for a small group to dominate consistently. Second, the reward system has diminishing returns built in, so the same few powerful accounts constantly upvoting each other becomes less and less effective. It encourages spreading votes around. Third, many of the apps, the interfaces, build in reputation scores and anti-abuse tools to flag weird patterns, but ultimately, it circles back to that vigilant community. If a whale, someone with tons of Hive power, starts abusing their influence, the community can react. They can use downvotes, which impacts earnings and reputation. It's a dynamic balance for sure, but the design tries hard to reward genuine engagement and quality widely.
Okay, that makes sense. A multi-pronged approach with the community as the ultimate backstop. You mentioned Hive power and HIV tokens. Can you break down the token economy? Sounds like there's more than one piece to it.
Yeah, there are basically 3 key components. It's designed to encourage different kinds of participation, especially long-term commitment. First, you have HIV itself. That's the main cryptocurrency. Liquid, tradable on exchanges, you can send it, tip people with it, standard crypto stuff. Then you have Hive power, or HP. This is HIVE that you've staked or powered up. Locking your HIVE as HP gives you influence. More HP means your votes count for more in content rewards, for witness voting, for governance proposals. It's your clout on the network.
So holding HP is about active participation and showing you're invested in the platform's future, not just speculating.
Exactly that. It's your skin in the game metric.
Mm.
And the third part is Hive dollars, or HBD. This is designed as a stablecoin pegged to the US dollar. It adds stability, useful for creators wanting predictable payouts, for commerce on the platform, or even just as a stable store of value within the ecosystem. You can even put HBD into savings and earn interest, which is pretty neat.
Right, 3 components. Liquid HIVE, influence-giving Hive power, and stable Hive dollars.
Yeah.
You also mentioned zero-fee transactions. That sounds amazing for users, but doesn't that just invite spam? How do they prevent the network getting clogged if everything is free?
Yeah, that's a really clever part of Hive's design. It's not exactly free in the sense of unlimited actions. Instead of charging transaction fees, Hive uses a resource credit system. To get resource credits, you need to have Hive power staked. When you do things post, comment, vote, transfer, you consume a small amount of these credits. They regenerate over time, so for normal users, it basically feels free. You rarely run out. But it effectively stops spam. A spammer would need to stake a huge amount of Hive power to get enough credits for mass abuse, making it prohibitively expensive.
Okay, so staking HP gives you bandwidth, basically. And you need bandwidth to interact. Clever.
Very clever. It makes everyday use feel like a normal web app, seamless, no annoying microfees, but with all the blockchain benefits underneath. It also means developers can stake HP for their users, making the onboarding totally frictionless. It's a big deal for usability.
That really is user-focused.
Yeah.
What about the tech underneath, the architecture? Is it all just one big blockchain handling everything?
No, it uses a pretty clear separation between layer 1 and layer 2, which is really important for how well it performs. Layer 1, the main Hive blockchain, is kept lean and efficient. It handles the absolute core stuff: text-based content data, account management, basic actions like posting and voting, witness voting, governance. It's the immutable ledger, the ultimate source of truth.
Okay, so the base layer is for core truth and simple actions, and layer 2 is for.
Layer 2 is where the more complex operations happen. It handles things off the main chain to keep layer 1 fast. This is where you'd run more complex smart contracts, handle large file storage like videos or images beyond basic text, and do heavy computation. Layer 2 also manages custom tokens, ways to wrap other assets, and supports DeFi stuff like fast, cheap swaps, even feeless DeFi in some cases. This separation means Hive can be really scalable and efficient. The base layer stays secure and fast, while complex apps can be built on top without slowing everything down.
That architecture definitely sounds suited for social media, content, games, things that need speed and potentially large data.
Mm.
So let's try and sum up. What are Hive's real standout strengths? What's it particularly good at?
Well, number one has to be its genuine decentralization and that proven resilience born from the Steam fork. That's not just talk, they lived it. This directly leads to strong censorship resistance. Ideal for free speech applications, the governance is key too. No pre-mine, no ICO, no VC dominance, no single company in charge. It feels genuinely user-owned.
And that proof-of-brain mechanism seems pretty unique for rewarding creators fairly.
Absolutely. Plus, the zero-fee feel thanks to resource credits makes it super accessible, removes a big friction point. And for developers, that layer 1, layer 2 setup offers a solid base for fast, scalable dApps, especially content-heavy ones, and everything being immutably recorded. That's a powerful guarantee. You can't just delete history.
Okay, sounds like a strong case. But nowhere's perfect? Are there downsides, areas where Hive maybe isn't as strong or faces challenges?
Yeah, need a balanced view, for sure. Compared to giants like Ethereum, its dApp ecosystem is smaller. I think the last count I saw, maybe late 2021, was around 39 dApps. That's grown since, but still, it's not the thousands you see elsewhere. So its focus is a strength, but also means it might not have the sheer breadth of applications of a more general-purpose chain. Maybe not a one-stop shop for every crypto need. And, that theoretical DPoS centralization risk always exists if someone could somehow amass enough stake.
Even if the community is vigilant, it's something inherent to the model.
Exactly. They've shown they can fight it, perhaps better than anyone, but it requires that ongoing community defense. It's not a set it and forget it kind of decentralization.
That makes sense. It really emphasizes how the community is the network, in a way. So what kinds of projects are using Hive now? What brings this vision to life?
Well, the community is layer 0, like you say, the ultimate defense and innovation engine. You've got popular front ends like PeakD and Hive.blog, think decentralized Reddit or Medium alternatives, very widely used. Then there's Splinterlands, huge success story. It's a blockchain card game, massive player base, thriving economy, and it runs on Hive. You've got mobile apps like Ecency, niche communities like Leo Finance for crypto and Finance Talk, Palnet, even video platforms like DTube, which actually bridges Hive and Steam communities sometimes. It shows a really diverse, active ecosystem using the core technology.
So it's definitely not just theoretical. Real applications, real users. Is there anything else quite like Hive out there? Or what really seals its uniqueness beyond that dramatic origin?
Well, you have other platforms trying decentralized social Steam. It still exists. Minds, Blurt, others. But Hive's specific origin, the way it was created without pre-mines or VC funding, really sets it apart. That focus on earning your stake through proof of brain, through contribution, rather than just buying in, it cultivates a different kind of community, I think, more invested, more value-driven. And its commitment to being fully free and open source software, FOSS, that's huge for trust, transparency, and ensuring anyone could fork it again if needed. It keeps everyone honest, makes it a true public utility.
And this bigger vision, network states, these self-sovereign digital communities, that sounds ambitious. How does Hive fit into that picture?
It is ambitious, and Hive seems almost tailor-made to explore it. The idea is creating these online communities that are economically sustainable, socially strong, censorship-resistant, outside the control of any single company or government. Hive supports that directly. Its tokenomics are designed for sustainability, the resource credits encourage participation, and it has things like the Decentralized Hive Fund, the DHF. It takes interest generated from HBD conversions and allocates it via community votes to fund proposals, development, marketing, community projects. So the community literally funds its own future. It's building the tools for self-governing digital societies where users control their data, their interactions.
Okay, so bringing this all together, we've looked at Hive's really compelling start, that fight for decentralization. We've dug into its unique tech, DPoS, proof of brain, the HIV, HPHBD tokens, those resource credits instead of fees, and its commitment to being censorship-resistant, community-run. It really does feel like a testament to what a determined community can build.
Yeah, and connecting it to the broader landscape. Hive is this powerful working example of designing a blockchain from the ground up for user empowerment, free speech, and resisting control. That layer one, layer two design, the transparent funding like the DHF. These aren't just tech details. They're like potential blueprints for future self-sovereign digital communities. And you see it working, evolving with apps like PeakD, Hive.blog, and, the massive success of Splinterlands. It's a living ecosystem built on those principles, constantly defended and pushed forward by its community.
So here's maybe the really interesting thought to leave you, our listener, with. In this digital world we live in, where so much our data, our speech, our online lives often feels controlled by just a handful of big companies, Hive's journey makes you ask, how much control do you really have online? And what role could genuinely decentralized, community-governed platforms like Hive play in, well, securing our digital freedoms down the road? Makes you think about the power of community, doesn't it? And what principled design can achieve in this digital age.